Hi everybody, it's Casey Williams. Some of my favorite cars are sports sedans. And you might be surprised to find out that my favorite aren't from Germany. They're actually from America. It's a car I have behind me. It's a 2023 Cadillac CT4. This is the driver's car that also comes with its own chauffeur. Let's go have a look at it. I really like the CT4's exterior design. The designers took the best elements of Cadillac's past, but rendered it in a way that looks really sleek and modern. I think it looks good. You'll see this car from 20 miles away almost, and you'll know it's a Cadillac, but nothing about it looks old. And it really starts at the front. You know, it's got the traditional grille, but there's, you look closer, these little chrome inserts that reflect the crest. I think they're really cool, but extra chrome. Cadillacs have to have some chrome and some glitz. The horizontal LEDs here, but then the vertical lighting elements here that go into the fenders. That's been part of Cadillac's kind of art and science design since about 2003. So I like that a lot. You come around the side, you know, Cadillacs really are about those long horizontal lines and those sharp creases, kind of the tailored look. And I think they did a really nice job with this. It starts with the hood, and I kind of like the little bit of the bolster in the hood here and these lines. I think was really good. But the front lamps, they come into this long line, comes down. I like the arching roof line that comes down. And you just have this formality to it. But the lines elongate the car, makes it look longer than it actually is. You got 18-inch alloy wheels. So it's not, again, it's not a big car. It's based on the Camaro architecture. It shares architecture with the Camaro. I think it looks good. On the back, I really like the C-pillar. It just gives that car that nice planted stance with just a little bit of formality. And of course, the back, you got these tail lamps that look like tail fins. And then from the very back of it, you got the molded in spoiler stamped into the sheet metal. And I just like the whole car. It just, again, looks like a Cadillac, front, rear, side, however you look at it. You know it's a Cadillac, but it looks modern, it looks sleek, and it looks fast. So I really like being in the CT4. I spent a lot of time this week. I spent about 10 hours on the interstate around town, and I spent a lot of miles in the car, so I got to spend some time with it and get used to it. But what I really like about this car, and unlike some of its German competitors, it's a very easy car to use. It's opulent. You feel like you're in a Cadillac. You know, the Bose audio grills here, you look really classy. You got the two-tone with the brown and the brown leather. Looks good, and the brown stitching. So there's a little bit of an opulence to it, which is what you should expect in a Cadillac. But it's also a very easy car to use. It starts with a touchscreen. You can do the joy wheel down below if you feel like you need to have a Mercedes, BMW, or Audi, but you don't need all this. I really just use for volume control. You can do everything through the touchscreen pretty much. Your audio, phone, navigation, your Wi-Fi hotspot, you access that easy. Wireless Apple Carplay, wireless Android Auto. And you got icons down below, just very easy, just kind of click through the screen. So it's easy, I like that a lot, nice. Down below, you got dual zone automatic climate control, all the controls for that here on this level. Again, easy to find them all. And then below that, you got the ventilated seats, the heated seats. One level below that. So again, everything's just very easy, very well integrated, very nice. And you got the big home button here in the middle to get to wherever you want to. Down below, wireless phone charging. Just toss the phone in, connects to CarPlay, whatever, down the road. I like the cup holders. Again, I just spent a lot of time I just used this in my car this week. It was nice to have deep cup holders, have some storage in there. Nice thick leather wrapped steering wheel. This one's heated. And on the control side of it, they've upgraded the CT4 quite a bit. So we now have a flat screen instrument cluster. Very crisp, very clear, very easy to use. A full heads-up display. Looks like speed, nav, and all that stuff's hovering out over the hood. So again, you're just kind of tucked down the car, grabbing the steering wheel. It just feels right. Some of the safety gear, it's a pretty full load of safety gear. So it has automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot warning, rear cross path detection with auto brake, and it also has Cadillac's Super Cruise system. But we'll show you that a little bit here on the road. But you set the system, and it's a full hands-off system, provided you're on approved roads, mostly interstates. So let's go for a ride. So I had about 250 miles to drive from Indianapolis down to Bowling Green, Kentucky for a visit. So I knew it was going to be a lot of interstate time. I knew it was going to be driving between cornfields and open interstate, and also through a lot of the hills in northern Kentucky, which I really enjoy, and some two-lane back roads. So had the Cadillac, was very happy to have it. You get on the interstate, you set the cruise. Like I said, this one does have the Super Cruise system. It's part of a $7,700 package, so it's not cheap. But what's really cool is that, you know, I got on the highway, set it, gives you green lights here to tell you that it's engaged, and you take your hands off the steering. It's got a camera here watching the road, so you can't just read a book. In fact, I was one morning just drinking some coffee and just kind of sitting there on the road watching the road, and it got grumpy because it couldn't see my face from the coffee cup. So it's pretty sensitive. And when it couldn't find my face because I was sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, it flashed red lights and it turned itself off. So it's not kidding around. you got to pay attention on the road, even though it's hands off. You're not going to read a book or move into the back seat. But I really did like it, and it took the load off my driving. The long trip down, about 80% of the drive down on the interstate, about 250 miles, was hands off. This one also has the automatic lane change. So again, I'm sitting here hands off, drinking a Coke, watching the road go by. A car comes up to something in front of me. It detects it's going slower. It automatically puts the turn signal on, checks down the side of the car, moves over, passes, checks down the other side of the car, moves back over. Did it all automatically. And this has a safety alert seat. So the seat will buzz in the direction of danger. So if there's a car coming and stuff, or with cross path detection. But it also uses those buzzers to let you know that it's getting ready to do something. So when it's getting ready to automatically change lanes, it would buzz me on that side and then did it. So it gives you a lot of cues as you're driving the car, letting you know what it's doing and make you very comfortable with the system. So I love Super Cruise. I thought it was absolutely great, fantastic on the highway especially. But beyond that, if you want to drive this car yourself and not be chauffeured in it, this really is a very enjoyable car to drive. It has a 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, delivers 310 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. This is a rear drive architecture, but this one's all-wheel drive. So it sticks. You got just great handling, tight steering. The thing I like about this particular one, this does not have magnetic ride control in it. A lot of the CT4s do with electronic suspension. This one doesn't. It has the sport suspension. It's tight, but it's just normal. And for me, it was perfect. It's dialed in right. It just rides nice. It does a really nice job of just isolating. We're going over some rough roads right now, and you can barely feel it. You don't hear a bunch of squeaks and creaks in the cabin like you do in a lot of cars. There's none of this. Some of the German cars, it just feels very clunky and very harsh. This car does not. So I just overall, the car feels refined. It feels bigger. It feels far more expensive than it is, and liked it. Fuel economy is also pretty good. So this one gets 21 miles per gallon in the city, 29 on the highway. Keeping in mind that's the top engine with all-wheel drive and all the features on it. So I think the CT4 also is a very fairly priced car, especially when you keep in mind that its German competitors, at least 2 of those are based on front drive architecture and just do not feel up to their price point. This one does. So the CT4 starts under $35,000. This one, top engine and Super Cruise, $53,215. Well, next week, another fun car. Until then, storm forward.